Ladies and gentlemen, it is your favorite bearded man, the one, the only, Bob Bay. We're here today in El Segundo, California. We're shooting episode 5 of What They Don't See with my man, fellow bearded brother, Brandin Cohen. He is the founder of Liquid I.V. It is a water additive company helping people hydrate. It's helping people feel life adventures. He's a past guest of the podcast for episode 99. He was also on Groupisode number 3. He just had this huge announcement about 2 weeks ago where he brought in some of the biggest celebrities into invest in his company with the help of music mogul Scooter Braun to help field life adventures, to be part of what Liquid I.V. is all about. So today we're getting a walkthrough of his office for What They Don't See, episode 5 with the bearded man. Let's get it. There he is. White costume. We didn't talk about this beforehand. So the fact that we're wearing the same outfits, dude, this is incredible.
Like this?
Yeah,
it's cool, right?
Dude, I'm excited to get you. We got my man Kirk, we got my man Eric here to help out with the content.
We moved in, or setting up for the meeting. We moved in like basically in January 1.
Wow.
So crazy part about it is like we were pretty open and we thought we got too big of a, like we've tried to get a big enough space to like prepare for growth, and we've just grown even faster than we thought.
It's probably nerve-wracking in the beginning where you're like, we gotta plan big, but
we have a lease, we have to move, we're looking at offices already. Yeah, we're only 6 months in. That's crazy.
I love this.
You like it? Yeah, it's like the picture spot.
Oh man.
We'll get a picture there after. But we're shifting all the time. It's mostly marketing on that side, and then like sales and ops down through here.
Okay.
But yeah, we're kind of mixing and matching. These guys came in as summer interns, so Lucas actually is from LMU, which is cool.
Nice.
You know, a lot of people, will have, board meeting and other big meetings, and then we put a TV up in there so you can like link your computer up. And
amazing.
Every meetings, dailies. I don't want to interrupt it.
We don't want to bust in on that.
We're actually this is a cool little chill area that we're getting rid of to put 4 more desks in there because we have to. So it's going to be a little packed for a little bit.
Yeah. But, how much do you think you had a year ago when we did the podcast?
Maybe 7.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can imagine.
Growth.
Yeah, on top of the sales growth and retail growth and investors, and growing a whole team is just like it's a whole. Your role changes, like the way you think about things and strategy changes.
I know when we had talked. Feel good?
Feel great. Always. Let's do it.
Come on, it's always high quality content.
Let's do it, baby.
You know, re-listening to the podcast this morning in the gym, it just got me in the zone, man. Last night I was kind of, when I texted you, I was getting a little chills. I was like, I can't wait for this tomorrow. And then re-listening to the podcast really got me into the mental state of this, and just the appreciation of like, we see this incredible office. We see all the big news happening lately, but this all started September of 2012. It was 2012 or 2013?
The end of 2012, yeah.
2012, and you're out there selling these sticks one by one at the Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to, I think like 2016, you're in 10,000 stores. Then end of 2017, you're in 20,000 stores. It all goes back to, at one point, just you, right? Even in those early days, what's going through your mind? Like, you have this idea, putting together Live, you have the product.
Yeah.
Nobody in this world has a clue as to what this is about to become. What's your mental state of like, I have something. I know I have what it takes.
Yeah, I don't think, you're not thinking that big, right? Like you're like focused on like this very simple issue, which is like with most entrepreneurs, like there's I saw this problem in the market, right? So I was like, what if you could create something that was healthier, that really worked, that was steeped in science, rooted in science. And so it started there. Like I knew that the opportunity was big enough, but it wasn't like I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this one customer standing in front of me and like how I could help improve their life. And if it really worked and helped, them, whether it was a mom, shuttling her kids around, or a professional athlete, or a firefighter, or an elderly person, if I could help them live a better life and the product really did work, this thing had legs. And so to be honest with you, like it wasn't that much bigger than that. I had these dreams and these goals, but it was more about like, hey, let's just like, what's this next step that we need to accomplish? upstairs?
Yeah, please. I like going to the big offices.
And we were like in a co-work, it's just it was like orange and dark, and then like there were 6 of us, and there was no logos anywhere. We got the customer experience team right here, they're all killing it.
Wow.
We got Vic in accounting and finance, and Christina in team growth. This is Bobby.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
So basically this was actually all outdoor patio.
And you guys remodeled it?
We just cut it off because we needed an extra room. We still don't have enough rooms. Like people are on calls outside, and they're all making it work.
California, you can make phone calls out.
It's not bad, right? So yeah, it's like we call like our live lounge, like the creative room.
Okay. Is that where you guys go to like brew up ideas?
Yeah, it's like a lot of the creative. I mean, everyone goes in there, but the creative team a lot of times will get in. You know, it's like this really loungy sort of. Yeah. On Fridays we do meditation, so we'll have like someone come in and.
You got plenty.
I know.
Ready to go.
Ready.
Moment's notice. You guys are ready. You're fired up.
It's like fresh lettuce that literally grows out of this thing, and you just pull it off and eat it.
That is incredible.
I haven't done it yet, but yeah. I know.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks, guys. Sorry. We just added these 3 up here.
This is where you're cutting cows? Come on, you're supposed to be watching that.
And I don't know who brought this in. I don't approve. Trisha's office right here. She's our COO. And we got the space up here, which is pretty cool. Wow. Filled with bottles to the brim, and it looked like 6 years later, like what it's turned into. It's like just even that little piece of content.
Do you have any pictures of when you were just like pitching, when you were at like Whole Foods, when you were just trying to get in?
We have like our first store we
That's
got
what
into.
You know what I'm saying? Like
really
just having those pictures of like, yo, I was out there.
I know.
Like I didn't just wake up and have this office. You know what I mean? Like that's like that's the beauty of like this type of series where it's like there's so much behind the scenes of it all.
That's it.
I love both. You got. So what's this pitch all about?
Those are our 2 Costco buyers. So they've been, you know, from the beginning they believed in us. They sort of gave us a shot before anybody. And I met Scooter, invested about a year ago, and we've sort of built.
Was that a year ago when it happened?
That was probably maybe a year, 18 months ago. Yeah, like when that was the first time we met.
Damn.
And then we you know, through the end of the year we were. You know, talking about how to really grow the business, and that's when we started getting ideas to put this like sort of strategic celebrity round together.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like a capital need, like we didn't need money, like the business is rolling, but it's an idea of how do we get like all of these, we call them CTW leaders, like these cultural leaders, people who are changing the world in their own way, bring them together to create a platform to like hydrate people, to give back, to bring education to people, all of these things. And so it went from like 5 or 6 people who wanted to get involved to like in the last week somehow like Hollywood got a hold of our deck, and it was like I want in, and it was like Kendall Jenner and Bieber and like everyone. The cool part is I actually got to meet with them directly.
Amazing.
Developing those relationships has been awesome, and it's been I think it's made us really comfortable from the business perspective of everything. Yeah. But like having to keep it all quiet when I knew what was building. We went to Nepal. I was literally like in Nepal, like on the other on the other side of the globe, literally like talking to Kevin Hart and like talking to Kendall Jenner's team, and like in 3 a.m, like there's videos of us. Like I'm like trying to close this deal while like I'm in this underdeveloped country, like no Wi-Fi. It was just insane.
You don't want to forget him. What was the significance of these 20 investors?
Yeah. You know, most of the time when you go raise money, it's because the money is going to be really valuable to help you grow your business. And for us, the business is in a really good state in terms of you know, our growth plans and what we were trying to accomplish. And once Scooter got involved, you know, we started talking and strategizing like, hey, how can we grow, you know, how can we most efficiently grow the business and get the word out there? Like when people try our product, they love it, right? For the most part. And
hey, I'll drink to that.
There we go. Cheers. Cheers to that.
I'll drink to that, baby.
I need a sip, actually. You know, when people try our product, they love it. And the idea was we just need to get more awareness out there, because when people try it, like, you know,
it sells itself.
It sells itself, right? And so we started thinking through, like, what if we could get some cool people involved in the business? And, you know, now there's like influencer marketing and there's all this stuff out there. And we had people reaching out who wanted to be a bigger part of the business, not like some transactional thing where they get paid to like post about it. Like people wanted to be like in the strategic parts of the business, and like, you know, wanted to be on the entrepreneurial side of the business. And so we started thinking through it, and we put together this list of people, and we started reaching out, and obviously he has a great contact black book list, I would call it, and I had a few people who had reached out to me directly, and so it's funny, at the very end of it, we had put it together, it was like 6 or 7 people, I think, and it's like 3 or 4 of the people I had been talking to, like Steve was a direct relationship that I had, and a couple, Gary was another direct relationship I had.
The goat.
He's the man. And then Scooter had 3 or 4 people, and right at the very end, I called him. I said, "Hey, is this like, we think we're good here?" And he goes, "Hold on, let me make a couple more calls." And so, literally in the last 5 days, it went from 7 to 20, and it went from like a solid crew to like the who's who of like Demi Lovato, Kevin Hart, Kendall Jenner. Like, all right, that's a pretty nice reach.
Make room for this.
Yeah, so it was cool. You know, what's been so cool about it, honestly, is developing the relationships with these people where, you know, they want to leave a lasting impact on the world too. There's all this press out there and all these things, you know, people talking about these people because they're you know, they're like their own corporation almost. Yeah. But once you start to talk to them and get to know them, like truly, like the reason they are where they are is because they've done some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And every single one to a T. We actually said no to a lot of people, which, can you imagine me saying no to some of the people I looked up to, just because we wanted to keep it like very strategic and people who really fit with our brand and fit with our mission. But you know, people like Kendall Jenner, you know, like she has clean water projects around the world, and people like Kevin Hart are giving back all the time. And so when they heard about, one, obviously they're going to put their money into something where they think they're going to make money. Of
course.
I think they hopefully believe in our leadership team and what we're building on the product. But I think our mission was a huge part of that. They wanted to be a part of something where they were really helping a lot of people. And so getting to know them and understanding how aligned what we're trying to do was probably the most exciting thing about the entire partnership. We just stuck so true to our mission. It's where you're at too. I just know because I follow along super closely. We know our mission is like we want to help people live better lives. Yeah. Again, whether it's commercially with selling the product or helping people around the world. And so for a while, like it didn't really there was no noise around it. But we're like, hey, we're just going to keep doing what we do, and we're going to create the healthiest product. There's all these naysayers or people wanting to, whether it's like use cheaper ingredients or like cut a corner, like no, we're going to stick to what we do, right? We're going to create the best product. We're going to tell the best stories. We're going to give back to the people who need it the most. And then all of a sudden, this momentum builds enough and the dam breaks and everything starts happening. You're like, so that's why it just takes you have to have such belief in yourself and belief in what you're doing and stay true to it. Because it's the only way you're not going to waver is like, if you know where your core is, like you can't go wrong. It doesn't matter who's watching or what's happening.
No, because you know exactly the path that you want to go. What's this wall though?
I do these vision boards like twice a year. I actually do it with my dad. So my dad does these, like we put this paper up on the wall and it looks sort of messy now, but you start at this blank sheet and you put like Vision 2020, you know? And this was done a while ago, and to see it sort of
like to cross things out or to see like things come to life.
Dude, it's crazy the power of writing down your plans. So like when we did this was a year ago now, right? Like some of these things seemed crazy. I have one of these from 2013.
You still have it?
From my garage when we did it. And it was like the idea of like freeing up your brain to think as big as you can. Literally, we have surpassed everything we put on that 2013 board, and I thought we were making ridiculous targets. Insane. Yeah. My dad's like, no, loosen up, just put your biggest dream out there. Like, already surpassed it. So like, it frees you up to, I think deep down, like, now that we're seeing some of this come to life, like, it gives you confidence. Like, you can't dream big enough. Like, don't be afraid to like put your dream up there, Yeah. And then put a plan towards it, work towards it, but it starts to happen naturally when you write it down. There's such power in that.
You're gonna be at 7 years next month with this. I would imagine now looking back, it's probably kind of flew by. But what do you think has changed about Brandin in that time frame?
Man, 7 years is crazy. I mean,
a long time.
for the first, let's call it 3 years, we hadn't even really sold any product. It was like getting things going. We had side stuff going on. So like that 2012 data is like we incorporated, but we were, things were still getting put together. There were side things. I was going to go to business school. I ended up preferring. So
out in Boston too.
BU, baby. You like that? I literally had an apartment.
Tuesday, baby. I know, Back Bay.
Yeah, you got it, man. Good memory. Damn, you got a good memory.
Listen to the podcast today. That's the only reason. I can't toot my horn too much.
That's incredible.
Yeah, you were about to go to business school. You had this idea. You said, "Can I defer for a year?" And then you're like, "Let me just gamble and see how this works." And I mean, clearly, it was a good.
I think I got my MBA. Yeah, I think I got my MBA. In terms of growth, there's such a difference between building something and doing it yourself to leading a team.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of times what's hard for founders is to go from doer, fixer, the person doing everything, to then and executing, to like building a team and delegating and managing people and managing expectations and building like a vision for the future that you can lead people towards. And so I think my whole life I always on my sports teams I just sort of gravitated towards that leadership role. And so I've loved it. I've thrived in it. But I think there's so much to learn. It's not like I've ever done this before, right? And so I think like a big key in that is like mentors and people where you can, when you don't have the experience, the only way to gain that is to like listen to people who have gone through that before. And so I think there's a balance between listening to a lot of people and then also like believing in yourself and doing it your way. But I think for me, in terms of the question of growth, it's learning how to really lead and inspire people. And I've learned what kind of leader I am. Like I've worked for and played for coaches that are like more like the dictator, like I'm gonna yell at you and tell you what to do, which I actually didn't. I responded pretty well to that, honestly. But for me, I just realized I like to lead with positivity and enthusiasm and working towards something and making it about the upside of doing that, not some consequence if you don't. And I think finding the right people who are about that has been really positive too. So, I mean, I could go through a million lessons I've learned from investors to marketing, but I think the biggest thing in terms of me is leadership. And then I also think like, and you're great at this, but like, once you find your passion, like just you stick to that. Like it doesn't matter what people are saying, because like if you're true to yourself, man, like it really comes down to happiness. And like I couldn't be more fulfilled every single day. Like I literally wake up, and don't get me wrong, there's challenges and there's really shitty days, but like I know at my core I'm doing what I love and I'm helping people and I'm inspiring people and we're building a team and we have a product that's helping people. And so like, as long as you're doing that, like you're gonna be in a good spot. And I think I've learned that about myself. I used to do things maybe for external reasons, and I've sort of, especially in the last maybe 18 to 24 months, like narrowed in on like, I love what I'm doing and I know what's important to me. It's like my family, it's my close friends, and it's building something that's gonna help people live a better life. And so like, when I stick to that, when I get off of that, I can get out into anxiety land, right? But when I stick to that, like it's hard to really go.
Your last question I always love asking people, because I think it's really important, is I want you to really kind of mentally put yourself back in that 2012 when you're at a Whole Foods, you're out there just selling them one stick at a time, right? You're just doing your best to make the best of the opportunity at hand, right? No idea where this is gonna go. No idea you have this incredible office. You have Scooter Braun as a mentor, these incredible people investing in on the company. What is the advice you would give to that Brandin who's just doesn't know where he's about to go, but he is so passionate about this idea? Even when people are doubting you, telling you, you're not going to business school because you want to start this little Liquid I.V company? What do you mean? What's that advice you would give him?
So, knowing me and how I operate, I would actually tell myself to just try and like smell the roses a little bit more along the way. I am like so almost obsessive and laser focused once I set my mind to something. Like I literally can wake up at 5 a.m. and work till midnight and like almost not do anything else. And I used to do, for 2 or 3 years, I literally did that. Like I didn't, and I was young and my body could handle it. And I'm growing a little bit older now. And
come on, you're in your prime right now.
No, I'm good. But there's something about like, I don't have a problem like just working relentlessly. And so for me, like I've learned in the last little bit of time, like how important balance is for me. And so just like you mentioned some of the things, like I do this because I want to perform at my best here. I've had to just like try and balance things a little bit. So for me, like meditating 10 minutes in the morning, I've got to work out every morning. I go do cryotherapy every day at lunchtime. Like I talk to my mom or my dad like once in the morning or later in the day, because it just brings me back to home base. And so there's like these little things where for me, for other people it might be like they need to work harder, they need to push themselves more, they need to wake up earlier. I literally am almost the opposite in that like enjoy this process along the way and have a little bit of balance. Like it wouldn't kill me. Like I almost blocked out everything for almost 5 years. Like I didn't have a life, and I don't regret it at all. But like now I'm at this point where like I want to enjoy some of these little things. I want to like when we get into the new office, like just take take an evening to just be like, wow, this is pretty cool, or like look what we're building, or look at these partners. I literally like I have this thing in my head, and I don't know if it's like I'm still trying to understand it, but right when I get to this thing, I'm literally on to the next thing. And it's a winning mentality, right? Like a lot of times our strengths are our weaknesses. And for me, I don't settle on anything, but just take like a second just to smell the roses a little bit longer, because all of a sudden, like, you know, I turned 30, like you turn 30, you're like, wow, like I built a lot of stuff. I wish I would like just enjoy a couple of these little things a little bit more along the way. So we're gonna get to where we're going. Like just take a second, you know?
Yeah, but that hustle is part of the reason why you are where you are.
I don't regret it.
I know you don't.
I know you don't. It's only hard to say.
But let me tell you this. Anytime you want to kick back, pick me up in the range. Let's go stroll down Venice Avenue. We'll grab some drinks.
I like it.
I'll put it on the Uber budget. We'll go have ourselves a time.
I love it.
But I honestly, man, it's people like you, it's people like Blake, Steve Borelli, all those guys. Like you guys have played, without you realizing it, you have played such an important role in me getting to where I am today, because you guys are stories of young entrepreneurs killing it, crushing it. And just you giving me the green light to come in today to shoot this is absolutely so much appreciated, because you were allowing me to document and create the content that I hope to bring to the world one day. So know that I love everything about you. I respect what you've built with Live, and I think this is going to continue to be so much bigger. I feel grateful that I'm able to capture the story where it's at. I'm grateful that you were on Groupisode 3, you were on a past podcast, and of course, I'm glad that you are a fellow bearded brother. So.
Dude, thank you.
Brandin Cohen.
Truly though, just one last thing. I know I don't want to end your perfect.
Oh no, don't worry. We like the rawness.
It almost makes me a little emotional when I think about it, but like, what you do, and I know you don't like it, like you're building everything and like your following's growing and all that, but I truly watch what you do, and there's only a few people that really inspire me deep down in my core, and like seeing you go through the process and share all of it, because I know the struggle that it takes to grow something. I didn't show everyone. I was just behind the curtain, like building them, and I went through those hard times where like you get down and like, and like honestly watching you do it, even though we're at different places and in totally different even like ways of doing it, just in terms of creative versus like the business side of things, it truly inspires me. Like I'm not kidding, like what you do, like do not stop doing what you do, because it inspires me like at my core. Like I watch what you do, and it affects me, and I have the chills thinking about it. You inspire me, I'm not kidding.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Totally.
You know, we're just getting started. There's no way that bearded content is stopping anytime soon.
Good.
What They Don't See, episode 5, here in El Segundo at Live with my man Brandin Cohen. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Chill.
How's that?
This is fantastic. I could have done a whole nother 2 hours.
I know. Sorry, we're just a little tight on time.
This is fantastic. What are we on?